Next, we will remove the axle using various tools. We're going to start with the same tools as before, more or less. We're going to hold the lock nut on the outside, and we're going to loosen the hex nut on the inside. This time the hex nut came. Then you have to worry about the lock nut. So what we're going to do is we're going to jam this nut with this nut. Second nut. You have to get both of the nuts off in order to remove the bearings in the axle. So use 2 wrenches, and we can pull the two together. Now these are locked together. By doing so, we can hold on to the inside nut, and we undo the jam nut. Nope, wrong side. Okay, so this is not tight enough. Let's do it again. And this is very tricky because that jam nut, or the lock nut, is very stubborn sometimes. So that means we need to make these very tight. And yes, you'll have to undo what we just did. So again, hold on to this. I'm going to try to undo the outside. A lot easier this way, probably. Nope, still not. This is going to be very stubborn, so that's the nut we're trying to loosen. It's not going to be impossible without it, but it would be really nice to get this loose. I think that yes, we did. Now this is loosening the nut on this side. Lots of effort. Now I have to make this come back apart. Do that by pulling these together. There. Of course, I'm just trying to be stubborn here too. Okay. Now, both bearings are holding on to the axle only. First thing we're going to do is we're going to push out outside bearing. And we're going to put the gem nuts back in place loosely. And you can use one of any kind of hammer, but we're going to use a soft hammer just to keep things from going absolutely nuts. Stubborn bearing too. Bearing is removed. Remove the nuts. Do the same thing for that bearing. In this case, put the axle in like this. We're going to find the tool, this tool, with the large diameter. Put that inside there. And put nuts back on here. And again, the reason for the bushing is just to keep the axle straight. And we're going to be pushing that bearing out. Now, by pushing these bearings out this way, you cannot reuse them because we're pushing them by the inner race. They're being held by the outer race. That means that all the balls that are inside of here are being pushed against. Here we go. One more time. That was a lot easier. There we go. No bearings. Have an axle. We have tools. So, nice and clean. For me, this will be a spare axle. That's the way it comes out.